All right, welcome back to the Sanguine podcast. Right now, I'm just solo here. Just giving you guys my thoughts on the New York Giants' future, how they played against the Arizona Cardinals, and yeah. So clearly from the game, we could see that the Giants' offense wasn't clicking in any aspects of the field or aspects of the team. I rather say, besides maybe the defense either. I mean, they couldn't do anything. They were put into situations where there wasn't much to do. I mean, they let up minimal points in every situation they were put in. Every possession that they were on defense, the Cardinals had great field position. The special teams were letting up major yards to Christian Kirk. Poor play calling by Jason Garrett. But Daniel Jones should not have been in the game this week. He was immobile. Was not ready to play whatsoever this game. And it seems to have gotten worse, as what we could see from what's looking like, as what we could see from the situation on the field right now. He's not running the ball, no RPO action. It's a pretty slimmed down play calling sheet for Jason Garrett, and Daniel Jones doesn't have weapons either without a solid number one receiver. Darius Slayton's not a number one receiver. That's my personal opinion. He's a great receiver being a number two, but he definitely cannot play as a number one receiver. You need to draft somebody like Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, whatever the situation is. Either sign Kenny Golladay or Allen Robinson, gives some weapons to Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, so Saquon's not dealing with all stacked boxes. Obviously, the Giants have a great future. Defense is playing well. They haven't let up much to the Cardinals besides obviously 23 points, but you can't blame the defense since they played almost 40 minutes of the ball game, 40 to 60 minutes, which is awful, and it gasses the entire defense out. You can't put your defense in a situation where they're always having to stop. They have such a short field to work with. Obviously, it's difficult playing against a quarterback like Kyler Murray, running around, scrambling everywhere, right? Getting out the pocket. And running a soft zone won't help you against a receiver like DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk. The run defense has been all right, besides letting up a few big runs, right? They had major tackle for losses, but it doesn't help them that every time they make a stop, the offense can't produce. Sterling Shepard doesn't look like a solid receiver, although we know he could produce. He's not a number one. Darius Slayton's not a number one receiver. Somebody's got to take the action. Somebody's got to pick it up, right? Like, who's going to take over at number one, right? Wayne Gallman was playing well on that 3rd and 1. They decided to throw a deep ball to Sterling Shepard, which Danny missed by the inches, right? That should have been a run to Wayne train. He was cooking on that drive. He was feeling himself, running hard, running strong, running directly north, right? Running very well, but Jason Garrett decides to call play action on a pretty vital play that could have continued the Giants' drive. Rather, you end up punting it when you need points on the board. The Giants let up 136 yards to DeAndre Hopkins with 4 minutes and 44 minutes in the fourth quarter remaining. That's unacceptable, especially having James Bradbury. Why aren't you running a man-to-man defense with a zone trap? Run a zone throughout the entire defense, but keep a man-to-man on DeAndre Hopkins. You have one of the best corners, if not, he's not the best, but he's a great corner, top 5, right? Why wouldn't you put him in the position to guard DeAndre Hopkins and prove why he's a top corner? Let him do the work. You let him play against DK one-on-one. You saw how that went. He played pretty well. Just let up a few yards after the catch, but he played pretty well throughout. it would have been an easier matchup for DeAndre Hopkins and Bradbury. That would have been a great matchup. Bradbury has size on him. They're similar size, the height difference maybe, but you played pretty well against DK Metcalf. Why aren't you guarding James Bradbury? Why isn't James Bradbury guarding DeAndre Hopkins 1-on-1? Obviously, the Giants are going to fall to 5-8. They have a decently difficult schedule coming up. They had that tiebreaker against the Washington football team, which is going to help them, right? If they fall into a situation where they win at least, they go 2-2, right? You go 7-9. Football team loses to the Niners. Hopefully they lose to the Niners. Hopefully they lose to maybe another game they're playing. I'm not sure what their schedule looks like. I need to check up on that, brush up on that information. But the Giants still have a great shot at making the playoffs. The only issue right now is Daniel Jones and how he's playing. You got to rest him up. You can't let him play. He's just hurting himself. And if he's your franchise quarterback, the best thing to do would be to bench him. It's not that he's playing awful. It's that he's playing hurt. And when you play hurt, you don't produce the best you can. And that's evident in everyone's play, right? That's why Christian McCaffrey's been out, because he doesn't want to hurt himself more. And obviously, the Panthers are in a different situation than the Giants, right? I know that. But the Giants, it obviously hurts losing to the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Cardinals are a great team. They have a great air attack. Their run game was playing pretty well today, even though earlier I said the Giants bundled them up pretty well. Kyler was getting a lot of good looks, honestly. A lot of scrambling. Lots of bad positioning for the Giants. What's it called? Quarterback spy. Jabril Peppers was overtaking on some of them. They're undering. But overall, I don't think the defense played awful, lighting up 26 points as the field goal. Assuming the field goal goes in right now. Right now, the future plans for the Giants would be to, unfortunately, cut Golden Tate, sign Kenny Golladay, Allen Robinson, or at least one of the two, right? And then draft Devontae Smith, which would be big, right? Give Danny two weapons that could stretch the field. I think Kenny Golladay would be a better signing in terms of cap space. Obviously, the salary cap isn't always on the side of the Giants, especially because we had to sign Leonard Williams again to a contract. He deserves it. He's a great player. But I think the Giants have a good amount of cap space this year. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. Logan Ryan, actually, that was so contradictory. I said pretty sure. I'm not sure. But Logan Ryan needs to get re-signed. We got some action of Xavier McKinney. Nothing insane yet. Obviously, he hasn't gotten much playing time. As he gets more playing time, he will get better. He's one of those type of players. He's a monster on the field, as we saw in Alabama. He's just gonna get better, especially with Patrick Graham teaching that Logan Ryan, helping him out. Jabril Peppers, he's got great mentors, and I definitely think he'll be a bright spot for the Giants in the near future. The Giants' defensive line got a good amount of pressure. Obviously, you need to get the sack. You got to show it on the paper. They got great pressures, but they just couldn't contain Kyler. He got out there, extended the play. T-Hop should have had about 170 yards, 150 yards. He didn't. He had 136 or 145, I don't remember. Still had a great amount of yards, right? I mean, Deion Lewis's fumble. Daniel Jones fumbled, 3 times. Lost one of them, luckily. That's looking like that old Danny. I mean, he's uncomfortable if he's fumbling. He's been playing really well until that point. Shepard can't get separation. Darius Slayton can't get separation. You started running. You got away from the run game, and then that run game you try to use it later on, you can. I mean, you have to continue to run it all game if you want to maintain a run game, right? Because then if you're playing from behind, you don't have the liberty to use the run game because it kills so much clock. Um, the Giants have a tough 3 games coming up. I mean, at least one of them is winnable against the Dallas Cowboys, right? So that would put them with 6 wins, which is definitely not enough. You got the Ravens and the Browns. 2 potentially winnable games. The Ravens defense hasn't been playing insane. Their offense hasn't been insane either. And then you got the Browns, who dismantled the Titans in the first half of the game, but then they went on to let up 25 to 30 points in the second half. It's just not. I think it's a potentially winnable game. The usage of Evan Ingram in the Giants versus Cardinals game was obviously 0. He had 1 catch right before the 2-minute warning. As I just saw it right now. The game's not over yet as I'm recording this, but had 1 catch, which I was expecting, right, going up against Isaiah Simmons, who matches up perfectly with Evan Ingram. Buda Baker, great safety, one of the top in the game. Banjo is also a great free safety, I believe, or he might be the strong safety. I'm not sure, but the overall message about that was they're great players, right? You don't expect much out of Evan Ingram, especially going up against people that match up well against him. He needs mismatches in order to produce, which shows me that, or at least in my opinion, I don't think he should be a part of the Giants' future. He's too bipolar for us. Like, one game he's going to play great, the other he's playing bad. Cost us the games, fumbles, right? Bad blocking. He's not an ideal tight end for the Giants. Maybe trade him away for a second. Don't give him that big contract and then pick up maybe Gerald Everett. Obviously, Evan Ingram has a lot to show the Giants. Maybe he could fix it up, but he's been inconsistent his entire career, and I don't think that's going to help him when it comes to contract negotiations. Contracts, you got to prove yourself in order to get the bag, right? Leonard Williams is doing that. He knows it's a contract season for him, or a contract year. He knows he's going to get paid in the offseason, and if he doesn't, he's leaving the team, which makes sense, right? He's been playing really well. Defense has been playing well throughout, but, I mean, what more can you ask from the defense? They put the Giants' offense in situations to do stuff the Giants' offense can't produce. Jason Garrett, bad play calling the entire game. But defensively, the Giants have a bright future. Isaac Yadam's playing better. James Bradbury's playing amazing football. Leonard Williams, insane football. Dexter Lawrence, Dalvin Tomlinson, great tackles, right? Jabal Sheard, he's been playing really well too. Blake Martinez, David Mayo, Carter Coughlin, Tay Crowder, Logan Ryan, Jabril Peppers, Julian Love. Xavier McKinney. Giants offense or defense is great, right? They are going to be one of those insane offenses or defenses, in the near future. They already are a top 5 defense in the league. Maybe if the Giants could sign Bud Dupree in the offseason, especially coming off a torn ACL, his stock goes down, which helps them in terms of giving him a contract. You could sign him for less. That would help out the Giants' linebacking core a lot. A speed pass rusher or a speed rusher. A great player great person in the locker room, as the Steelers have said. Steelers players. Uh, so the Giants, I mean, they're in a great position next season. This season, they still have a chance of making the playoffs. Don't count them out, right? Hopefully, the Niners lose this week, keeping the Giants at number one. We got a 2-0 tiebreaker on them. But my only thing is, I'm looking for the future now. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs really have this one locked up, in my opinion. But my main signings this offseason would be Kenny Galladay, right, for cap purposes, maybe Bud Dupree. You also had to cut Kevin Zeitler. He's taken up a lot of the cap, and the Giants' offensive line has been doing well. And I don't think he's not like a piece that you keep for the future, right? Like he's nothing insane. Zeitler's not that good. He's let up a great amount of sacks. He's not that agile. Speed rushers kill him, right? So I think Lemieux, Thomas, Pert, the Giants' offensive line has pieces, nice cheap pieces for the future. I don't think you sign anybody in free agency. Maybe you draft the right guard, replace Zeitler, and then you get Saquon back next year, solid offensive line. That's going to make holes for him. If you sign Kenny Galladay, you'd have Galladay lined up, right, as number one, Slayton as number two, and Shepard as a slot, right? Which is a solid top three or solid receiving core. And then if you decide to keep Evan Ingram, you get Evan Ingram, which is going to be a mismatch pretty often against teams besides teams with speedy linebackers like Simmons and great safeties. But you obviously have Daniel Jones for the future. And then you have Wayne Gallman behind Saquon Barkley. Maybe the top running back tandem in the league, especially with Saquon and Wayne Gallman. Like, two heavy rushers, two big players, right? You could even run a two tight end or two running back set in the backfield. Wow. Hassan Reddick got 5 sacks against the Giants, as he just got another sack I just saw. Man. So, Hassan Reddick was playing against, let's see, Andrew Thomas. Nice, man. He destroyed Andrew Thomas. This might be one of Andrew Thomas's, another one of his poor games. He's let up, I don't know if it was just him who let up 5 sacks, but I know Zeitler let up a few to Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick just got one on Andrew Thomas. But overall, he's been playing well, Thomas. I think the Giants have a solid offensive line in the future. You got, if you sign Galladay, solid receivers, a solid tight end. If you keep Ingram, you cut him, pick up Gerald Everett, you still have a solid tight end. You got 2 great running backs, right? A good quarterback in Dan Jones. If he's healthy, you got the RPO. If not, you don't, right? I mean, if you keep Daniel Jones, you're going to have an RPO to run with Saquon Barkley, which is going to open up so much in the playbook, especially in the pass game, because then you can't truly stack the box. I mean, you have to stack the box, right, which leaves wide receivers on one-on-ones. Kenny Galladay is a great route runner, a great player. He'll make those plays for you. And then on the defense, you got James Bradbury, Isaac Yiadom. Maybe Sam Beal comes back and he's a great player. Maybe he's not. Maybe it was just a waste of a pick, right? And then you have solid pass rush, great run defense, great linebackers. You get Zoe Carter, you get Zimenez back. You have Tom Coughlin, I missed Tom Coughlin, but we got Carter Coughlin, Blake Martinez. Safeties are great. The Giants are an overall great team, right? You got one of the best kickers in the league, if not the best kicker in the league, which is probably one of the best, I guess, the brightest spots for the Giants. I guess going into the next season or even this season. Graham Gano is the biggest positive the Giants have seen all season. Besides that, they fall to 5-8 after this game. Hopefully, Niners lose. Not much to say. The Giants still have a chance at making the playoffs, which I believe they will. Win the next 3 games, make the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, those are just my thoughts on what the Giants need to do. And I believe they will make a great push and be a great team in the near future. They are a solid team right now, definitely a contender. They put in work, hard-hitting team, tough football. Joe Judge has put the Giants in a great position to win games. He's given them, I mean, the top coaching in the league. If the Giants make the playoffs, I think he goes and wins Coach of the Year. You started 1-6. You're now 5-8. Giants. Joe Judge playing great, or coaching a great team, right? He's changed the entire culture back to how it should be, how Tom Coughlin had it set up. They're playing great fundamental football, smash mouth football, right? I think the Giants have a great future. Patrick Graham's been a great defensive coordinator. Hopefully he stays. Hopefully we retain him, right? I think he gets a lot of offers to be a coach, and I think the Giants try to keep him. If they keep him, we're in a great position. But yeah, that's just my take on how I feel what the Giants should do, how the season's going to look, and how the future is going to be set up for the New York Giants. Thank you for tuning in. We'll have more episodes near future. Obviously, a tough loss as a Giants fan, but keep your head up, Giants fans. We got a great future, a great team, and pending as soon as Danny's back, I think the Giants go back to being contenders, get the playbook opened up, and yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time.